Today our guests are the guys from Pictures from Eden, Mark Guerrero, music artist Scott Carter to talk about all of his latest projects, and Josh Heinz from Blasting Echo. From Eden. We got the whole band with us, excited about that. Let's get to know these guys. So let's start back here. Tell us your name and what do you do in the band?
I'm Steve and I play drums.
I am Paul, I'm the vocalist.
My name is Dennis, I play bass.
I'm Tom Collins, I play guitar.
Now before we find out like how these guys got together and everything, I have to say Paul is actually also a model because we did a little modeling recently.
Wow, I didn't know we were going to go
Crater
there.
Lake Vodka, and we both got to model together.
Yes, we did.
How funny.
Yes, we did.
And they gave us both a tan afterwards in
and
Photoshop.
a complimentary sample of vodka.
Yeah, you don't know that.
Yeah.
That was
Steve, did you finish that? Paul's always been the face of a hand model.
We had
Wow,
a good
it's
time.
hitting a new low. Okay.
So tell us a little bit about you guys and how you guys got started. How did Pictures
Well,
from Eden
I guess it started, we've all played music forever, but for me, I played through my 20s, quit music about 30. Some friends had said that I should introduce myself to Mr. Tom here, who's been a guitarist around the valley for a while. And so I introduced myself and went to go see him play, and we started talking and said, you know, let's do something. So we started working out a little acoustic thing, and I said, hey, you know bassists? And so he said, I know great bassists, and that's where Dennis came into the picture. And then like most, I think, bands, you always go through one instrument that you just can't get your hands on. It's always a problem trying to find. So we went through drummers left and right, and through a great referral from a good friend, he said, "You got to talk to Steve Ussery." And so we said, "Steve, what do you think? Why don't you get on this?" And he said, "No, absolutely not." And
I have standards, and I had to lower them. And
he said, "I listened to your CD, and no." He said, "We'll give it a shot," and it's been a great recipe ever since. We've gotten along as like brothers, and it's been a good run for about a year with this guy. So.
That's
in a word, charity, I think would be the best.
Yeah, if you want.
That's how we're gonna put it.
He's so fantastic.
So now, where can our viewers go see you guys play? Are you doing regular shows around
Yeah,
the
we
desert?
play all over California. We do some stuff in LA, but a lot in the desert. This year, our hopes is to play more out of town. But we're getting invited to more festivals and things like that. So we're looking forward to this summer playing a lot more. You know, outside the heat.
All right, we all like to get
Anytime,
outside the heat in the summer.
You want to play
sure.
us in the bathroom in Long Beach? Sure, we'll be there.
Now, do you guys have a site or like a Facebook page or anything like that where people can go and keep up with what you're doing?
You can go to www.picturesfromeden.com. Some people say Pictures of Eden. That's wrong. You won't get to our site with that. But you can go to facebook.com/picturesfromeden and Reverb Nation.
So, how did we get the name Pictures from Eden? How did that come about?
That was me, and there's speculation and talk about where that came from, but as far as my story goes, I'm sticking with it. It just came to me one day, and I'm like, "Tom, what do you think?" And he's like, "All right." Fairly easygoing, Mr. Tom Collins. When you're named Tom Collins, you kind of go with the flow. You kind of have to. Because growing up, it's rather tough on you. You got to do what you got to do.
It was good.
You haven't heard any jokes about your name, have you?
Oh, no, never.
No.
And so if you had to describe your music to our viewers that maybe haven't been exposed to you guys yet, how would you describe it?
You know, it's always a tough question, but we're very much alternative rock. I think people that listen to us and come up to us afterwards, we might sound a little like Three Doors Down or Three Doors Down, or
maybe even Three Doors Down.
Perhaps Three Doors Down. There's a great band you might have heard of, Three Doors Down. I guess we're in that vein. Like, you know, I don't want to say that we sound like Creed or anything like that, but we sound like today's maybe Three Doors Down and Creed, and maybe Daughtry, a little spin of Nickelback. I don't know. Any of you guys have any thoughts? What?
You know, I think it would be unfair to say that we're an amalgam of like Led Zeppelin, Yes, Queen, The Who, because you know that's unfair to those guys. We pretty much just do our own thing.
Right.
Excellent.
We don't have their feelings or
Throwing us in that boat.
I don't think we're actually...
We're standing on giants, that's all.
I don't think we're actually trying to sound like anybody else except for ourselves.
We're doing what we can do.
Yeah. I think the closest thing is we
that.
sound like us. We feel like we're unique, but some people always say, "You guys sound a lot like that." And it's like, no, we don't really want to sound like anything.
And we are actually playing some clips tonight too. So
to be able to see.
have some
I'm
exposure
sorry.
and hear a little bit.
Yeah, sorry about that.
And Reverb Nation, you said they can find you guys there as well.
reverbnation.com/Pictures from Eden.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And do you guys have some new music that's going to be released?
We do. We actually have been working on a lot of music the last year, some new stuff. We have our album from last year, but the new stuff, we've just been doing some demo work with it, and we're probably going into the studio come this summer to release a new one for next year, or later this year.
Right now we're in the creative process.
Right. Well, in a band, you kind of always have to be in that creative process, I imagine. Tell us in March, where are you guys going to be?
Oh, we've got an event coming up. It's a benefit that we're actually putting on ourselves. It's at Schmitty's Tavern. I think there's a lot of people in the desert.
I love that place.
Yeah,
Very
Schmitty's is great.
place. Mm-hmm.
And I give props to Dennis the owner. He's really transforming that into a great music venue for the Valley. It's nice that we got somebody like that to really push local music. But we worked out a day. We got some other great bands. We got Burning Betty and Spank Shaft playing alongside. We're playing for two great causes. One is Friends of Palm Springs Animal Shelter.
Oh
Yeah, good one.
Puppy Power.
Oh, good. Yeah, absolutely. That's animals first, and then we're playing for another great cause, CRISPR's Clubhouse, which is teaching and educating kids and parents about predatory attacks. And so we're pairing up. They're both very excited to be a part of it, and we're just going to try and raise as much funds and awareness as we possibly can. So,
awesome. Well, thank you guys for giving back. That's very important. And thank you guys for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to seeing you guys. I'll be at that event at Schmitty's.
Awesome.
Look forward to
We're
seeing
going to look forward to it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we appreciate being on the show. We're really excited about the new show, Coachella Valley Music Show.
Hey!
Help us help them! Jefferson Starship. This is Jefferson.
No. Stop. Say 1, 2, 3. Are you dinging?
1, 2, 3.
Okay, say 1, 2, 3.
2, 3.
This is Jefferson Starship.
And you're watching Coachella Valley Music Show.
Our next guest is Mark Guerrero. Mark, tell us a little bit about how you got started in the music industry.
I was in my first band when I was 12 years old, believe it or not. I played sax, believe it or not, alto sax. But as far as guitar, I was 13 years old, had my first band called the Escorts, which later became Mark and the Escorts, but it wasn't my idea.
Mark and the Escorts?
And we actually made a couple of 45 RPM records that were released on GMP Crescendo Records. And one of those songs, called Get Your Baby, an instrumental, has been on many compilation albums to this day. It's on, it's on 5 or 6 compilations all over the world, and it's kind of a mini garage rock classic called Get Your Baby. But I recorded that when I was 15 years old. I played lead guitar on that record. Went on to record with, for Lou Adler, who is now in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He produced the Mamas and the Papas and Carole King. My first solo recording was with Lou Adler and his Ode record label. And then I did a couple of singles for Capitol Records as a solo artist, and an album and single for A&M Records. All this happened in the early 70s. So that was sort of my launching into, the music business, recording business. And my dad had previously, my dad was a singer-songwriter as well, who started recording in 1939, but he was in the Spanish language field, and a lot of our local people here will have heard of him, Lalo Guerrero. He performed locally for many, many years. But like me, we have a local career, but we have a non-local, slightly more global career at the same time. And he passed away in 2005, but he was a legend in Chicano music. And so, it was in my DNA to be in music. It was, around the house, my dad writing songs. And so it was kind of a natural thing for me to go into music. But I went into the rock and roll field. But in the late 70s, after all those record deals I told you about, I decided to go back to school, and I wound up getting a degree in Chicano studies. So I studied about the history of the Chicano and Mexican history, and all the things that I learned started to get infused into my original music. So my music went from being rock and roll, country rock, etc., into my own version of Chicano rock.
So Mark, tell us a little bit about what brought you to our beautiful desert.
I started coming out here and playing seasonally for 3 years. I was going back and forth a lot. But in 1990, I moved here full time. Now, my dad had been living in the desert since 1973. So he was very well known here. But I didn't come till 1990.
All right, I'm going to put him on the spot now. Mark, can you play a little song for us?
Absolutely. I'll play a couple of snippets for you. Thank you. I love the way this magically appears. Since I just was saying that I kind of have my 2 styles of music, the rock side of me, and then there's the Chicano rock side of me. I'll do a little verse chorus of the 2 genres. Here's a rock and roll song I wrote a while back, in the 50s spirit. And as a matter of fact, right now there's a group that's going to record their own version of this as we speak. And it's called Meet Me on the Other Side. Come on, baby, meet me on the other side, where we already know where there's no place to hide. Meet me on the shore of another world. Send me into orbit, baby, be my girl. Hop in my jalopy and we'll go for a ride. Come on, baby, meet me on the other side. There's a rock and roll thing. Now here's an example of my Chicano music. It's a song I wrote called On the Boulevard, about the whole cruising scene in East LA when I was growing up. Waiting for Anna pura chicana. They were gonna go bailando on the boulevard. Well, you can party hard on the boulevard, but if you party hard, you better stay on guard on the boulevard. On the boulevard.
That was really good. Very nice, Mark.
As far as songwriting, I've written virtually every song I've ever recorded for the major labels I described earlier. But also, one of my songs was recorded by Herb Alpert of Tijuana Brass fame, and local legend and beyond, Trini Lopez recorded one of my songs.
Song, everybody. Se necesita una poquita de gracia. Baila bamba, baila bamba. Para subir al cielo se necesita una escalera grande, otra chiquita, arriba y arriba. Ay, arriba y arriba, por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré. Do it, everybody.
Chan Romero, who wrote the Hippie Hippie Shake that the Beatles used to do, he recorded one of my songs as well. My dad recorded many of my songs too. We wrote some songs together, and he recorded a few of my songs.
Yo tengo una novia que sabe querer. Cuando me besa, yo no sé qué hacer. Me besa muy sabroso, muy sabroso. Me besa muy sabroso, muy sabroso. Yo no sé lo que siento cuando mi baby me besa así.
So songwriting is one of my passions. It's I consider myself a singer-songwriter / musician.
So I hear you've been speaking in universities. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've been talking about?
Yes. As a result of the website I mentioned a little while ago, markguerrero.com, I've been asked to speak at a lot of venues, many universities and museums and cultural centers. I've spoken at UC Berkeley, UCLA. Next month I'm going to Ohio State University. And I have a presentation, I call them lecture performances, and I talk about the history of Chicano rock, and I perform, and it's been a really wonderful thing. I've been getting more and more invitations.
So what is Chicano rock?
Okay, Chicano, first you have to understand what a Chicano is, right? A Chicano, it's a slang term for Mexican American, a person of Mexican heritage born here, such as myself. There have been many Chicano artists who have had hit records and have made a mark in music, such as Richie Valens, my dad, Los Lobos, Flaco Jimenez, Trini Lopez, on. And that's what my website's about, and that's what I speak about, the history of Chicano music and Chicano rock, starting in the 40s with my dad and Don Tosti, who was a local resident here, into Richie Valens, Chan Romero, who's a local resident, into the 60s, the East LA Sound that I was a part of, Cannibal and Headhunters, Premiers, El Chicano, Tierra, all that is Chicano rock. And so I've documented that on my website and continue to, and so I speak about it. And I perform, and it seems like I'm getting more and more invitations to do this, so this is something else I do. I do occasional concerts, I do occasional lecture performances, and then I play locally regularly. I'm performing Wednesdays and Thursdays from 5:30 to 9:30 with my partner Paul Villalobos at Arnold Palmer's restaurant in La Quinta. It's 5:30 to 9:30, and it's a great place, great food, and we have a great time there. On Fridays and Saturdays, I'm at Margarita's restaurant in Palm Springs. Fantastic restaurant.
Margaritas. hey, that's where we're at right now. We always tape our shows at Margarita's, and we love Ernesto and the whole crew.
It's a great restaurant. I love performing here. Sometimes I'm outdoors, al fresco in the patio performing, sometimes solo, sometimes duo, and often in the inside bar. Margarita's Fridays and Saturdays from 6:30 to 10:30. Come and see me. On Sunday nights, I'm solo at Lavender Bistro in La Quinta. It's a beautiful, beautiful restaurant, fantastic food, great atmosphere. I'm there solo in one of the patios from 6 to 10 every Sunday night.
Mark, thank you so much for coming on our show. So if you ever want to find out when your favorite bands, like the ones that you've seen here on the Coachella Valley Music Show, are playing, check out our sponsor, CV Weekly. They have a weekly fabulous magazine that's distributed throughout the Coachella Valley. You can find it in your favorite stores, and you can also find them online at CoachellaValleyWeekly.com.
1, 2, 3,
music artist Scott Carter to talk about his latest project. Scott, we've actually known each other for quite a while, and I'm super excited to have you on today. So
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, for our viewers that may not know you or maybe have been following you for a while, tell us a little bit about what's going on with you.
Well, I've been playing here in the desert about, well, 7 years, but really solidly 4 years, the past 4 years, and I'm actually now kind of based out here. So I've been playing a lot at the Village Pub, which is right down the street from where we are.
One of our favorite places.
Oh yeah.
I've seen you there many times.
Yeah, the Village Pub. So I play there every Sunday afternoon. I've been doing that for a long time now, at least.
And that's more your solo acoustic gig, right?
It's a solo acoustic. I sing a lot, play some instrumental things, but it's on the pub Sunday afternoons, like between 1 and 4, and then the past year I've been working at Hog's Breath Inn, which is Clint Eastwood's restaurant,
that's a
part of the Kaiser
restaurant.
group, And I do solo, they don't even, for a long time, they didn't want me to sing. It's just solo guitar.
Oh, nice.
And I've been doing that for the past year, every Sunday and Monday, from 6 to 9. And in December, they added Saturday. So now it's Saturday, Sunday, and Monday night at Hog's Breath Inn. And,
which is Old Town La Quinta.
Old Town, in Old Town La Quinta, up in the Cove. And
right, it's a very pretty spot.
And for those that don't know, it's associated and affiliated with Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, you walk in and there's his pictures everywhere from the movie scene. It's a really neat place.
Yeah, Clint's one of my favorite actors. Outlaw Josie Wales and all these different murals of him all over the restaurant. But the food is really amazing, and the staff there are really great. I have a casino band, which is I've been playing for like the past 7 years at Fantasy Springs, called New Breed, and we play in the lounge called Lit, and we get that one weekend a month. But you kind of have to look at their schedule or look at my band's schedule to find out which weekend that is.
So could the viewers maybe go to Fantasy Springs website?
Oh yeah, it's always on the Fantasy Springs website.
FantasySpringsResort.com.
I think so.
Google it.
Yeah. So we're basically an R&B band when we're playing there, but it's fun.
You know, that's one of the things I love about Fantasy Springs Resort Casino is they bring in so many musical acts. They've got their big venue for the huge name stars. And saying with what you're doing in Lit, and then Rock Yard. I mean, it's a great place for musicians.
And it's been cool because we've been able to meet and hang out with some of the guys. Like the last time Hall & Oates were here, turns out that I know their musical director. Paul Pesco, he's a guitar player for them, and he's their musical director. And he was there, and he came. Actually, they came in and played with us, and they got there a day early, and the guys from the band came up and played, sat in with us.
Another benefit of playing there.
Oh yeah.
Very cool.
But so I play at Fantasy Springs once, one weekend a month, and I've been working with this new band out of Orange County called Hot Pocket, and now Agua Caliente has started a new program where they're building a month at a time around a band. So Hot Pocket is going to be the band at Agua Caliente come March.
Okay, and will that be in the lounge?
In the lounge.
That's a great room too.
It is. So there's a lot of stuff happening for me out here, and I'm getting a lot of the country clubs now. Like I'm playing some private stuff at the Heritage. We're doing a big Valentine's Day thing this Friday, and I've also been picked up to play some dates at the Hideaway.
Nice.
And the Palm Desert Country Club. So things are just really opening up for me out here.
Well, because you are so busy and you're playing at so many different places, do you have a place where people can go to see what you're doing and where you're going to be, whether that's Facebook or a website, anywhere where they
Well, the website is newbreedband.com, but it's under construction. And another website I'm working on is scottcarter-music.com. So I have the domain for it. I'm working on getting the website. Hopefully I'll have it up in the next month.
We will be looking for that.
Oh yeah.
So you've had a lot of experience playing around the desert. How do you feel, where do you feel like the desert is going with music and being a place where live bands can play? Does it seem like there's more places where bands can play, or is it harder to get gigs? I mean, what is that scene?
I don't know if there are more places to play. I think that that one's talent kind of determines how much they work, not necessarily tooting my own horn with where this is concerned. Because I'm from Huntington Beach, San Diego. And I lived in San Diego in the 90s when there was a just raging music scene in San Diego. It's all dried up. There used to be a radio station there, a smooth jazz radio station, which was, they did some national stuff, on the weekends. Art Good would do, and he was a major DJ there. He would interview like these major smooth jazz stars like David Sanborn and George Benson. That radio station has gone away now. And they used to do the street scene in San Diego, where it was touted as the largest concert music event this side of the Mississippi back then in the 90s. I don't know if it's bigger than Coachella is now, but it was huge. I used to play for some of those, like there would be the national acts on all these stages around downtown, and then the local guys would get to play some of the bars, so it was a really big deal. That's all gone away.
Right.
I used to play at a place called Hurricanes 2 blocks in from the pier in Huntington Beach, and it's all gone to DJ. It's like, it seems like the younger people, no offense to anybody young looking at this, but it seems like the people who are under 30, they don't really want to support live music anymore, unless they're going to see like CeeLo Green but at that level. When it comes to local music, even if they're good, they don't really seem to support that, especially at the beach.
And I will decide where I'm going, like if they have a live band, because for me, that's what I like. I love going into whether it's a bar or one of our nightclubs and hearing and seeing the bands perform.
Yeah.
I just think it adds so much more excitement to any room. So I'd love to see even more of it.
I agree, and I didn't come out to the desert thinking that it was going to become a mainstay for me, but it's just sort of, it's happened. It's like,
I'm glad.
Thank you.
I've always liked seeing more of you.
Well, the people out here just appreciate live music more. They just do.
Yeah.
And it might be an age thing, I don't know. I mean, because, the clientele out here is a little older to a certain degree, but just people out here seem to appreciate live music more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, to get away from the music for just a second, I know you have also been working on being a drug and alcohol abuse counselor, and so would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Well,
how you'll be helping people?
I am a recovering addict, alcoholic myself, more addict, but been sober, clean and sober, 24 years now.
That's huge. Congratulations.
Thank you.
A long time.
And so, through the course of my recovery, I've worked with people. By proxy, people come to me. They know that I do this. They come. They ask me. Sometimes they come for my counsel. And I finally just decided that it was time to get the license, to become a true licensed counselor. It's not like I've learned a lot in school. It's not like I have counseled people, and it's not like I didn't have good counsel for them. I'm just making it official.
Right.
So I can work in it and hopefully work with other people in the industry around this, which I have. I worked for a company per diem called Hired Power out of Huntington Beach, and they put me with various artists, and it's really high end. Like, I've been with some major TV stars trying to help them with some, I can't mention their names because of confidentiality, but
tell us.
Yeah, right. You would love to know.
It's all that dirt.
But I have worked with a lot. I have worked with a few, and it's just really sad because recently a lot of people would have heard about the Philip Seymour Hoffman story.
What a tragic story there.
And he dying from a heroin overdose.
And he had been clean and sober.
Yes.
Was it like 12 years or something like that? And then just did that one relapse over a period of time, which was maybe the last year or so from what I've been reading.
Yeah.
And then just to have that happen. So
right.
It's very sad.
And a couple of the stars that I were with is the same deal. It seems like in the artist industry, whether it's acting or music or anything that's artistically based, we sort of fall into that whole thing of like maybe drinking and substance abuse, because it does open up certain pathways to artistry. Like I remember reading an article by the Beatles.
Drinking and thought I could sing. So you're right, it does, which I can.
Yeah, right. You know what? Don't be fooled. There's a lot of people who drink.
Good idea.
There's a lot of people who drink and then go to karaoke and feel like they can really sing. But,
been guilty of that. Not a good idea.
But I read an article by John Lennon and Paul McCartney, and they were talking about years ago. They were talking about how the Beatles. Anybody who watched the Beatles, they came in and they were all the clean cut boys from Liverpool, and then as the 60s developed, they started getting into drugs and they got all psychedelic. And they did talk about how it did open up their minds to be creative, but after a certain point the creativity thing stops, and then it becomes a crutch and a hindrance.
Right.
And people become dependent on it and then addicted to it, and heroin and cocaine and crystal meth, even alcohol, it's no joke. After a while, people die from that.
Right.
People can die from that. So.
Well, congratulations on 24 years and being able to help people with that too.
Yeah.
And again, get that site up and going soon, so we can find out more about where you're going to be.
If you want to be my friend on Facebook, which is what I'm doing right now.
That's a great way to get the word
out. It is. It's a great way. You can go to Scott C. Carter on Facebook and.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much, Scott, for coming down and hanging out, and I always look forward to
Thanks for having me, Val. It was great.
Town.
I need good tunes to occupy, so I try the radio. The voices come from fools with nothing better to say. It's the same super pop hits, always overplayed. What are you listening for? What are you listening for? What are you listening for? What are you listening for?
thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
So Josh Heinz is the singer of Blasting Echo, and you pretty much founded the band as well. Tell us a little bit about your band and how you guys got started.
We kind of got started because I had been in a band out here called Dufresne that broke up, and myself as well as Mondo, our drummer, and another guy that founded the band with me who's not playing with the band anymore, Jeff, we all have sons with autism. And that's not how we got together. We kind of found each other, Jeff and I found each other and through the autism community and exchanged CDs and was like, hey, this is cool and you're not in Dufresne anymore. And then we were rehearsing drummers at Mondo's studio, and Mondo, who's actually the bass player for the Pedestrians, who's a very popular band out here in the desert. And Mondo, after trying out 2 drummers, said, hey guys, I think I can drum for you guys. I've been playing drums for years, but just not with any bands. And oh, by the way, I have sons with autism as well. And so that's kind of how we got together. And then over the years, I met Linda, who's now my fiance, and she's a music teacher and plays keys and teaches voice. And she has a son with autism, so I met her through the community as well. Her son was in a class with my son. And we were like, hey, let's expand the band and let's add something besides guitar, bass, and drums. And she came in with keys. And that's how the band got to where it is. And then eventually Jeff his life kind of has taken a different direction, and we added Laramie as our bass player almost 2 years ago. And Laramie actually learned to play bass from Mondo. Oh, so it's really a cool thing, and it's great. We have a really great time, and anytime you're in a band, it can get stale or it can get tough because of personalities butting heads, but we all get along and have a really interesting chemistry.
What's it like working with your fiance in the band?
It's actually really good. I mean, I'm sure that if we were a huge band that toured 200 days out of a year or whatever, I'm sure maybe that might be a little stressful. But on a local level where you play, hopefully you play a show a month and you practice with the band, once a week, it's not stressful at all. It's really enlightening and freeing because we can be sitting around and she can just be fooling around on the keys at home, or I can be fooling around the guitar and I can be like, hey, what was that? Or she can say, oh, what was that? And all of a sudden it turns into a creative process. And that's it's very freeing. So
within the creative process, who usually does the writing? Do you guys kind of share that responsibility?
We do. I write pretty much most of the lyrics, and I write a lot of the music. But we've gotten to the point where everybody's contributing, and that's what's kind of so exciting. We put out a CD last year called The End Is Still So Far. We put it out in April, and it was 16 songs, which, of course, in today's environment, people don't know what an album or a CD, or at least young people don't. But we wanted to put out that collection of 16 songs. And now we're so excited because everybody's being creative. And, Mondo's giving us songs, and Laramie's giving us songs, and Linda's giving us songs, and I'm still writing songs, and it's a lot better. It releases the burden off of, say, hey Josh, what do you have?
And so you guys are doing a lot of benefits. You have another benefit coming up for kids with autism, which, as you mentioned earlier, is very dear to your heart because you and some of the other members of the band have children with autism. So when will this benefit be?
Usually we have the benefit in May. We've done it for 6 years, and we're in the planning stages for this year's benefit. So just be looking out for it. It is very dear to our heart because 3 of us in the band have children with autism. So. And
our friends from CD Weekly, I believe, are going to be sponsoring that event. They're also a sponsor of our show, and you actually go back a bit with Tracy, right?
Yeah, I do. Tracy's been extremely kind to me. When I first moved out
I
here.
can't think of anybody that she has not been extremely kind to, because she's just a sweetheart, and love her.
Yeah, she is. When I moved out here in 2001 from Memphis, I've been playing in bands in Memphis, or in a band in Memphis for 7 years, and then I moved out here and I didn't know anyone. And Tracy had, I did a few acoustic shows, and then Tracy did a kind of a battle of the bands, and I got involved in that. And Tracy's taken a liking to one of my songs that I wrote back in Memphis called "Sunburn in the Shade," and that kind of happened because when I first met her, she wanted to know if I even had any good music. You know, I mean, wouldn't you want to know if somebody's going to be part of your battle of the bands? And so I met her, and I played her some of the stuff I had recorded, and she just had a specific attachment to "Sunburn in the Shade." And over the years, she requests it pretty much anytime she's in the crowd. She wants to hear it. So we try to oblige her, although now that the band's got new songs, we've had a couple of shows where she's like, "You didn't play Sunburn for me."
Oh, she would call you out.
But, you know, I played her birthday party recently, and or not too long ago, and she insisted that I played it. And it was great because she is such a champion of the song. She got the entire crowd to get involved in it and sing the lyrics, so it was really cool.
And I know she loves you guys because they, with CD Weekly, have done a couple of write-ups on you guys. And, you know, the CD Weekly, too, has done so much for music in the desert. I mean, they really make it such a big point to give exposure to bands that are playing out here. It's a great thing that they're doing.
Yeah, it is. And, I mean, even, like, if you take this show, I mean, Tracy and Phil and CD Weekly sponsor this show. And this show, again, does exactly what you're saying. It only helps grow the music scene out here, and they're supportive of this show. So it's really special and unique what they do. So I very much appreciate it. They're good friends, and I feel always indebted. Especially like you said, they've done some write-ups, especially with the benefit, and they've helped sponsor that, and that just means the world to me and to the band.
So how can our viewers follow you guys? Are you on Facebook? And also, where could they maybe go to listen to your music?
Certainly we're on Facebook. We're on facebook.com/blastingecho. You can find us on Reverb Nation, which is reverbnation.com/blastingecho. We do have a website, but we haven't gotten very much up there. It's just blastingecho.com. You can go there, and we just shot a recent video for our song Bad Radio, which we submitted to the Chichiva contest that everybody submitted to.
So another really neat thing about your band that's a little different from some bands is you have the two guys, you of course, and the drummer, and then you have the two girls, the keyboardist who's also your fiance, and the bass player. So how does that create a different dynamic for you, maybe when you're playing or just when you're out meeting people, being that it's kind of a split gender band?
You know, it's really a cool reaction. There aren't a lot of bands that have two females in the band, and two females that are very proficient at their instruments and creative and exciting, and both beautiful. Obviously, Linda's my fiance, but even if she wasn't my fiance, I can easily say she's beautiful. And so it's very interesting. I think what it does, kind of, when people first see us, they kind of are like, "Oh, two girls.
What's going to happen there?" Yeah. Girls can't play in bands. Yes, we can.
And so it's kind of a neat reaction. It's great, and it does provide a great dynamic, and makes it, certainly it helps in a visual sense that when people see two females getting on stage playing in a rock band, they tend to stop. You know, they may be going out to the patio to smoke, but then they're like, "Oh, there's two nice looking girls on stage. Let's check it out." And then they see a song, and then they realize, like, wow, or hopefully they realize they enjoy what they hear.
Play.
And we hope you guys enjoy us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Josh, from Blasting Echo. We look forward to seeing you guys at that benefit.
This is called "Sunburn in the Shade." This is Tracy's favorite song, and I really appreciate her support. Everybody, give it up one more time for Tracy. Happy birthday, Tracy. Somebody said get off the stage. That was awesome. Thanks, you guys, for being supportive of my set. I'm Josh Heinz. This is Sunburn.
get raining almost every day. Under the surface, there's something that you won't display. I feel the sunburn coming from the shade. I feel the dryness of the pouring rain. I look over my shoulder and I tell you what I see. It's just another angry man trying to take everything away from me. I won't bow down. I won't bow down. I won't bow down to that king. Alright, you guys sing, come on. I won't bow down. I won't bow down. I won't bow down to that king. Do it again. I won't bow down. I won't bow down. I won't bow down to that king. Alright, I'll sing with you two more. I won't bow down. I won't bow down. I won't bow down to that king. I won't bow down. I won't bow down. I won't bow down to that king. All right, thank you, everybody. Happy birthday, Tracy.
There's a brand new TV show coming out in the desert called Coachella Valley Music Show. There it is. There's David Ross. Guys, we're going to be featured a couple months from now, so they're grabbing some footage for it. So we love your participation. In fact, we love it so much we just want to hear you cheer.